রাধা প্রেমময় হরি।
কৃষ্ণ প্রেমময়ী রাধা, রাধা প্রেমময় হরে।
কৃষ্ণ প্রেমময় রাধা, রাধা প্রেমময় হরি।
কৃষ্ণ প্রেমময়ী রাধা, রাধা প্রেমময় হরে।
জীবনে নিধানে নিতাম, রাধা কৃষ্ণ গতে মম।
জীবনে নিধনে নিত্যাম, রাধা কৃষ্ণ গতির মম।
জীবনে নিদানে নিতাম, রাধা কৃষ্ণ গতে মম।
জীবনে নিধনে নিত্যাম, রাধা কৃষ্ণ গতির মম।
কৃষ্ণ দ্রবণং রাধা, রাধা দ্রবণং হরি।
কৃষ্ণস্য দ্রবিণম রাধা, রাধায় দ্রবিণম হরি।
জীবনে নিদানে নিতাম, রাধা কৃষ্ণ গতে মম।
জীবনে নিধনে নিত্যাম, রাধা কৃষ্ণ গতির মম।
কৃষ্ণ প্রাণময়ী রাধা, রাধা প্রাণময় হরি।
কৃষ্ণ প্রাণময়ী রাধা, রাধা প্রাণময় হরে।
জীবনে নিদানে নিতাম, রাধা কৃষ্ণ গতের মম।
জীবনে নিধনে নিত্যম, রাধা কৃষ্ণ গতির মম।
কৃষ্ণ দ্রবময়ী রাধা, রাধা দ্রবময়ী হরি।
কৃষ্ণ দ্রবময়ী রাধা, রাধা দ্রবময় হরি।
কৃষ্ণ দ্রবময়ী রাধা, রাধা দ্রবময় হরি।
কৃষ্ণ দ্রবময়ী রাধা, রাধা দ্রবময় হরি।
জীবনে নিদানে নিতাম, রাধা কৃষ্ণ গতে মম।
জীবনে নিধনে নিত্যম, রাধা কৃষ্ণ গতির মম।
কৃষ্ণ গৃহস্থ রাধা, রাধা গৃহস্থ হরি।
কৃষ্ণ গে স্থিত রাধা, রাধা গে স্থিত হরি।
কৃষ্ণ গৃহস্থ রাধা, রাধা গৃহস্থ হরি।
কৃষ্ণ গে স্থিত রাধা, রাধা গে স্থিত হরি।
জীবনে নিদান নিতাম, রাধা কৃষ্ণ গতির মম।
জীবনে নিধনে নিত্যাম, রাধা কৃষ্ণ গতির মম।
কৃষ্ণ চিত্তাসিত রাধা, राधा चित्त स्थित हरे
कृष्ण चित्त स्थिता राधा राधा चित्त स्थितो हरे
जीवने निधान निका राधा कृष्ण गते मम
जीवने निधने नित्यां राधा कृष्ण गते मम
नीलंबर धर राधा पीतंबर धर हरे
नीलांबर धरा राधा पीतांबर धरो हरे
नीलंबर धर राधा पीतंबर धर हरे
नीलांबर धरो राधा पीतांबर धरो हरे
जीवने निधान निता राधा कृष्ण गतिर मम
जीवने निधने नित्यां राधा कृष्ण गते मम
वृंदावनेश्वरी राधे कृष्ण वृंदावनेश्वर
वृंदावनेश्वरी राधा कृष्ण वृंदावनेश्वरा
वृंदावनेश्वरी राधा कृष्ण वृंदावनेश्वर
वृंदावनेश्वरी राधा कृष्ण वृंदावनेश्वरा
जीवने निधान निता राधा कृष्ण गतिर मम
जीवने निधने नित्यां राधा कृष्ण गते मम
जीवने निधान निता राधा कृष्ण गतिर मम
जीवने निधने नित्यां राधा कृष्ण गते मम
कृष्ण प्रेममय राधा राधा प्रेममय हरे
कृष्ण प्रेममयी राधा राधा प्रेममयो हरे
जीवने निधान निता राधा कृष्ण गतिर मम
जीवने निधने नित्यां राधा कृष्ण गते मम
जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे
जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे
जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे
जय गौरनिता गौरनिता जय श्री राधा माधव की श्री निताय गौरंग की निताय गौर प्रमाण।
कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी मुना यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग जय जय प्रभुपाल 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 जय ओम विष्णुपाद ब्रह्मंस प्रियाचार्य स्तोत्र श्री श्री ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की निरंतरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की नताय गौर प्रणंदे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी रीडिंग फ्रॉम श्रीमद् भागवतम Canto 3, Chapter 31, The Movements of the Living Entities. Text number 2. Kalalam tu ekaratrena pancharatrena budbudam dashahena tu karkandu पेष्यंडं वा ततः परं करलं तो एकरात्रेण पंचरात्रेण ॐ बुद्बुधं दशाहेन तु कर्कन्दुः पेष्यण्डं वा ततः परम् What word meaning? Kalalam, mixing of the sperm and ovum. To then, Ekaratrena, on the first night. Pancharatrena, by the fifth night. Budbudham, a bubble. Dasha ahena, in 10 days. To then, Karkanduhu, like a plum. Peshi, a lump of flesh. Andam, an egg. Va, or. Tataha, thence. Param, afterwards. Translation purport by Jvinge Sabhai Charnaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. On the first night, the sperm and the ovum mix, and on the fifth night, the mixture ferments into a bubble. On the 10th night, it develops into a form like a plum. And after that, it gradually turns into a lump of flesh or an egg, as the case may be. Please repeat the translation. On the first night, the sperm and ovum mix. And on the fifth night, the mixture ferments into a bubble. On the 10th night, it develops into a form like a plum. And after that, it gradually turns into a lump of flesh or an egg, as the case may be. Purport. The body of the soul develops in 4 different ways according to its different sources. One kind of body, that of the trees and plants, sprouts from the earth. The second kind of body grows from the perspiration, as with flies, germs, and bugs. The third kind of body develops from eggs, and the fourth develops from an embryo. This verse indicates that after emulsification of the ovum and sperm, the body gradually develops either into a lump of flesh or into an egg, as the case may be. In the case of birds, it develops into an egg, and in the case of animals and human beings, it develops into a lump of flesh. This is the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshormilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Guruvani Pracharani Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vachada Desapare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kalakam thu ekaratrena pancharatrena budbudam dashahena tu karkanduhu peshya andam vatatah param. So we are in the 31st chapter, which describes about the movements of the limb. It was described about how the sinful activities, the reactions to the sinful activities. A people who indulge in sinful activities, there's a great struggle even while living. And they'll become very morose and lament in the old age. Near-death experience is horrible. So then what will happen? After going through extensive punishment in the hell, he will be allowed to accept a gross body. So to accept a gross body, he has to come to 84 lakh species. In those gross bodies also, based on the kind of impressions the jiva, the atma, while he was living in the human form of life, all those impressions are stored, and to fulfill the desires in that attitude, in that mood, to fulfill those desires, he will be pushed into lower species of life from hell. So that means he accepts the gross bodies, and each body one kind of desire he can fulfill, and that body, there is no freedom or free will in that body. Everything is enforced in that particular species. So punishment in different kinds of hells with subtle body, and again punishment with the gross body. In the dog's body, in the pig's body, in the donkey's body. Finally, human form will be bestowed again. It's a causeless mercy of the Lord to provide an opportunity to the soul to get liberated. Because human form of body is the gateway to go to the spiritual world. So, this is what we have discussed in the previous chapter. This chapter discussing about the process of birth. How the jiva has gone through all the hellish conditions in life, how again takes birth, and what is that kind of suffering he goes through is explained here. There are 84 lakh species, and based on the desire and qualification, Ichcha and Yogyata, based on the desire and qualification of the jiva. Just desiring itself is not sufficient. One should have such kind of Yogyata. Yogyata means punya karma, bank balance. If one is engaged in sattva guna, he will be promoted to the species in the heavenly planets. If one is demoniac, he will be sent to lower species. So there is a asura guna, there is sura guna, asura guna. In the Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter, Lord describes the divine and demoniac natures. There actually he assures Arjuna Arjuna, you possess divine qualities, you don't worry. Masuchaha, he says, Masuchaha sampad daivim abhijatosi Pandava. He says that you are born with Sura quality, Daivi quality. Whereas, what is the advantage of having born with the Daivi quality or divine qualities? Because Daivi Sampad Vimokshaya. Vimokshaya, the person who is situated in Sattva-guna, the person who is situated in, who is having all the divine qualities, it helps him to get liberated from this world. Whereas, what is that? Baddhaya Asuri Mata. Baddhaya Asuri. Nibaddhaya Asuri. That Asuri Bhava, the qualities, the demoniac nature, binds a person in this material world. So, Arjuna, the Krishna says to Arjuna that, Masucha, you don't worry because you are already born with the divine qualities. So that means the different living on born from divine qualities means where the divine qualities are coming from the previous activities. So based on that, living entity takes birth in different planets, whether heavenly planets or earthly planets or the adogachanti tamasa, will take birth in the lower planets also. The lower adogachanti can be defined as the lower planets, also as a lower species, both ways. People who are situated in tamoguna or tamasic gunas, kind of this thing. So, especially these slokas explained about how Prabhupada says here, there are four different ways of soul developing the body. One kind of body is that of the trees and plants, sprouts from the earth. Second kind, all 84 lakh species are divided into these categories. The second kind of body grows from perspiration, as with flies, germs and bugs. Third kind of body develops from eggs. And the fourth develops from the embryo. So in this particular shloka, it is explained that Kalalam tu ekaratrena pancharatrena budbudam. It became a bubble. So these are the explanations given 5,000 years back. These descriptions are there. These things to figure out, science has taken so many, probably centuries it took. Finally today they are able to figure out, yes, when man and woman mate, when sperm is released in the womb of a woman, and the particles of sperm, and how many particles? Not 1, 2, 3, is thousands or lakhs of particles of the sperm, very minute, micro. The particles of the sperm is rushing towards ovum. And when it rushed, and only in each kana, in each particle of the sperm, a soul is residing. Soul is there. And when rush towards, why they are rushing? Because soul want to take shelter. A platform is required. Like we see ghost, how keep roaming around, because there's no platform for him to act. A soul without body, physical body or gross body. So the soul has entered the sperm, and there are multiple, innumerable particles are there, and each particle, soul is there. And soul, that sperm is rushing towards the ovum, and only out of thousands of particles, only according to today's medical science, they very clearly explains, detailedly, that how only one or two sperm particles strikes the bow. But the today modern education or the scientists or the doctors, they don't know the real picture behind it. They only think particle is moving. How particle is moving? Who is making to move? Because Atma is there. And Atma cannot be perceived. Atma is not the matter. It cannot be perceived by material senses. For the material, the medical equipments or sonography, they can only see the particles moving. They cannot perceive the Atma. And scientists also don't believe in Punarjanma. There are very few people, by doing research on the people's memories, at least some of them are coming to that. No, there is previous life, there is some experience, previous life experience that they're able to this thing. But other more or less modern science doesn't agree. What to speak about modern science? Even some of the religions also, religious texts also don't agree that Punarjanma is there. Why they don't agree? Because they believe that whatever, only they have faith on only in the Pratyaksh Pramana, what they perceive, what they can see. Yes, that is one of the means of acquiring knowledge. Pratyaksha Pramana is not deniable, but that is not complete. So they want to believe what they can see or what they can perceive. They are beyond our senses. There are certain things we cannot perceive, certain things we cannot see through our gross senses, but they don't believe on that. Atma is spiritual, body is made of matter. The scientists, they did so much of research. What exactly this whole body is consist of? The body consists of different kinds of chemicals, and this many milligrams of chemicals are there. If you collect all together, it's come to around how many rupees, Saribal? Around 150 rupees, 200 rupees worth of chemicals. Huh? How much? 210. Anyway, rupee value is also declining. So if not 210, it may be 500 rupees. So according to scientists, we are just worth of 200 rupees or 500 rupees. See, this is what Prabhupada gives example of how a parrot and cage. Nobody is feeling the soul within the body. They are just taking care of the body. This is a whole what is explained in the previous chapter. Nobody, first of all, why this is happening? Because Dehatma Buddhi. They are considering that I am this body, and everything what he is doing, everything is meant to take care of the body. He never takes care of the soul within the body. And he doesn't have that kind of understanding that he is Atma. So much of value is given to the body, and okay, if he is giving so much of value to the body, whether the body is giving all that pleasure, what he is expecting or he's hoping. No, so much of suffering is going through. It's a struggle. Whole life is struggle. Physical, mental, emotional. Just like you are carrying in a carry bag. Kaju, pista, badam, all for the Lord's offering you are carrying. So what is the valuable? Carry bag or the the product which you are carrying in the carry bag? What is the value of this carry bag? Carry bag is required. Yes, to carry bag is required. But what is the most valuable thing? So this is because of the Dehatma Buddhi. They are not able to Find out. Why? What is the result of this Deyatma Buddhi? It brings so much of swartha, selfishness. What is that? Aham mameti. Why Kurukshetra Yuddha happened? What is the reason Kurukshetra happened? Because of Duryodhana's swartha. Duryodhana and Swartha means adharma. Whereas Arjuna is Dharmatma. Is Arjuna, okay? Duryodhana is Swarthi. He's a Adharma para. He's Adharma. Then whereas Arjuna is Dharmatma, no? He's following religious principles. Then why Krishna is saying, no, you fight? Arjuna, you fight. Why he is asking to fight? That we know. Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, Krishna Prabhupada explains that how there are 6 aggressors. These aggressors has to be punished. So, but Arjuna finally, he has not followed dharma. He followed the paradharma. What is the paradharma? Obeying whatever Lord says, I will follow. Whatever he says. Whereas Duryodhana is a symbol for adharma. Not symbol, actually his life is all adharma only. And Arjuna was actually following dharma. See, if you see the scriptures, if you read scriptures, Ramayana, Mahabharata, what is all about? They are only teaching about dharma. What kind of dharma? Samanya dharma. Samanya dharma means in ordinary society. In society, how a person should conduct himself. The whole Ramayana is all about what? Especially from Rama's character, Rama's personality, what is displaying, is all about Samanya Dharma. It is not Paro Dharma. It is not Param Dharma. Param Dharma, if you wanted to know, you should know from Lakshmana and Bharata, not from Rama. Rama is teaching how an ideal husband, how an ideal son, how I should be ideal king, how an ideal brother should be, everything, ये सामान्य रूप में इस दुनिया में कैसे जीना चाहिए, how one should relate with everybody in this world. But what is the Param Dharma? What is Paro Dharma? Paradharma teaches by Lakshmana. He is ready to kill even his own father, Dasharatha. The moment he came to know that, that Rama is banished to forest by Dasharatha, he says, he got so upset. He wanted to even kill Bharata. When Bharata is going to the forest to see Lord Rama, Lakshmana sat on the tree and saw that Bharata is coming with all army. So he thought that he is going to attack Lord Rama. So, he just come to Lord Ramachandra and asked, please give me permission, I wanted to kill this Bharata. Even Bharata, for that matter, is another example of establishing Paradharma, that he is ready to even kill his mother. He disowned, you are no more my mother, for the sake of Lord Ramachandra. Lakshmana, he is ready to go to any step, he is ready to go anywhere for the sake of Lord Ramachandra. He is simply waiting for the order of the Lord. So, this is Paradharma. What is the Paradharma? Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. That is Paradharma. Everything, I am ready to do anything for the sake of the Lord. Otherwise, ordinary course, everything, generally when people meet, you should just follow Matra Deva Bhava, Pitru Deva Bhava, Achara Deva Bhava. All these things are, see, such kind of culture is very, very important. There is a first step in human life. It's called samskara. It is samskara. If you don't have even that much samskara, then you are no more human being. You are animal. Dharmaihina pashuvis samana. So Lord Ramachandra is teaching everybody that you follow dharma, so that at least you will become human being. That's how, in another quote recently, I think yesterday somebody sent in WhatsApp, Prabhupada says, Lord's pure devotee is more merciful than the Lord. And also Prabhupada said, Lord's devotee is more capable than the Lord. Of course, by His mercy. By His mercy, Lord's devotee is more capable than the Lord. So Lord wants to bring all ordinary people to one level by making them follow dharma. But His devotees teaches paradharma. So Duryodhana his behavior was adharma, where Arjuna was dharma pravartana. But as Krishna is telling to Arjuna, because you see, Arjuna is a strict follower of dharma. That's why in the whole first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he tells about based on the Vedic injunctions, based on the religious principles, he don't want to fight. It's not that he is lazy or lethargic or he's a coward, he's afraid of fight. Nothing like that. On the principles, on the values. How can he kill my, elders, gurus? But Krishna is teaching Arjuna about paradharma. What is that paradharma? Savai pumsam parodharma edo bhaktir adokshaje. Edo bhaktir adokshaje. Paradharma is all about pleasing adokshaja, pleasing Krishna. That is the paradharma. So hence Lord said that sarvadharman pratyajya mamekam sharanvaja. Give up all kinds of dharmas. Brother dharma, Sishya dharma. Because he's thinking, Dronacharya is my disciple, my guru. Relative dharmas. Bhishma Pitamaha, my great grandfather. Give up all this kind of Pati dharma, Patni dharma, Bachya dharma, Brahmana dharma, Kshatriya dharma. Give up all that. Just surrender unto me. So this is what Krishna taught. Highest principles. Anybody listens this, anybody follows such that dharma, what Krishna has taught finally as a conclusion, 100% will achieve success in his life. 100%. Hence Sanjaya said, even before war started, he declared where the victory is. He said, Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanuddharaha, Tatra Shri Vijihar Bhutir, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Tatra Shri Vijaya. That's where victory is there. So, the parodharma, there's no bodily concept in parodharma. It's a beyond swartha. Otherwise, you see, in the Kurukshetra, everybody is in distress. Duryodhana is in distress. You see the kind of anxiety that Dhritarashtra is also going through. Duryodhana also going through. That we'll see evident, very clearly evident. Prabhupada writes in the first sloka purport itself that how Dhritarashtra in great anxiety, he don't want that compromise should happen. He's great in anxiety. Duryodhana is also in a great anxiety. He goes to Bhishmadeva, Dronacharya. He goes to Dronacharya and says, you see that how your disciple Drishtadyumna, so well planned, indirectly He's expressing his anxiety. What will happen? Arjuna is also in anxiety. Everybody is in anxiety there. Everybody is in distress. But whose distress became popular? Who got among all the distressed people, who got the fame? Arjuna got the fame. Why? Because in his distress, in his anxiety, there is no swartha. In Dhritarashtra's anxiety, there is a swartha. Because he don't want to see that compromise. Basically, he wanted his son to be... and he's having little confidence on... because his son is supported by Bhishma, Drona, everybody is there. So if fight happens, war is there, and Duryodhana will become victorious. So war has to happen according to him. He's a little worried that because of Kurukshetra, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, because of Kurukshetra, which is Dharma Kshetra, there should not be any settlement. So there's swartha in him. But Arjuna did not add any swartha. He's Dharmatma. He's following the principles of Dharma. You don't want to harm anybody. You don't want to fight. You don't want to kill others, his relatives. You don't want a kingdom. You don't want to have anything as such. So that's how the first chapter, of course in English, it is translated as observations, the armies in the Kshetra. But in Hindi and Sanskrit, what is called? Arjuna's Vishada Yoga. But actually everybody is in Vishada there. Everybody is in Vishada. But it became popular as Arjuna's Vishada Yoga. By seeing Arjuna's Vishada, Dhritarashtra was very happy. Oh, so if he doesn't fight, he's in Vishada, naturally he'll become weak, so his son will become victorious. That's how Sanjaya is declaring who is going to win. Who is going to? Before even war started, he declared to Dhritarashtra that no, your son is not going to win. Why? Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanandara. Wherever Arjuna is there, wherever Krishna is there, victory is going to be there. So the reason for war were actually this swartha. There are four people four important people who caused this whole Kurukshetra war. Duryodhana, Dushasana, Karna, and Shakuni. They are the four people. In fact, they even wanted to bind the Lord. They want to tie him up. And that is the time Bhishma and Drona, they chastised them. And Lord Krishna showed, oh, you wanted to bind me? Do you know who I am? So he showed Vishwarupa. So Sanjay was explaining to Dhritarashtra, see, Lord Krishna is showing Vishwarupa, he is showing, oh, everything he is the Sarvasva. So Dhritarashtra also got so much inquisitive to see that he prayed to the Lord, oh, I am blind, please give me the Darshan. I also wanted to see your Vishwarupa, please bless me. So Lord Krishna bestowed Jnanachakshu, the divine eyes to Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra is able to see that Vishwarupa of the Lord. But his swartha is so deeply penetrated in his consciousness, in spite of having the Vishwarupa Darshana, after having Darshana, he is asking, oh, now I am blessed. Now please me take back this special eyes you are given to me, the divine eyes you are given to me. I have darshan. I am very happy with the darshan. Now please make me blind again. See how this conditional life is. Many times we explain this Dhritarashtra story to everybody. And Prabhupada writes now that he is blinded not only physically, even spiritually is blinded. Not only grossly the eyes, but even spiritually is blinded. So many times we explain about Dhritarashtra's nature, but we don't realize Dhritarashtra is hiding in all of us. We read Srila Prabhupada books, Jnananjana Chakshu, Jnana Chakshu khul jata hai. So interesting, so exciting. Sometimes we feel that is called, actually what is it called, realization ho jata hai. Oh, such an important instruction is coming. Oh, without fail, I'll follow from tomorrow. But unfortunately, that tomorrow never comes in our life. At that moment, we get excited. So nice. From tomorrow onwards, I wanted to follow this. Tomorrow we forget. So why these things are happening? Because this Dehatma Buddhi is very, very stringent, very strong. The Chittam, the contaminated consciousness, so much contaminated, so much there, deep-rooted. It is deep-rooted, so deep-rooted. So, that's the reason Prabhupada keep hammering. Many times people say that Prabhupada keep talking about the basics. One of the Prabhupada's initial disciple said, Prabhupada taught only, what is it? Preliminary this thing. Sadhana Bhakti taught. Raghanaka Bhakti and all, if you wanted to know Raghanaka Bhakti, you have to go further acharyas, some different acharyas you have to go to. Prabhupada is not taught that. If you don't break this conditioning, if you don't break this, if you don't come out of Dehatma Buddhi, where is that Raghanaka Bhakti? You'll become just imitator. You'll just become imitator. That's how Prabhupada keep hammering. Once you come out of that, strictly following the principles, adhering to the discipline, and absorbing the basic philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, basic philosophy of Atma, starting from Dehinosmin yada dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tada dehantara prapti dhirastatrinamuyati. Dehinosmin yada dehe, the two things are there. Deha and dehi, the body and the possessor of the body. Starting from there. And matra swarshasta kaunteya situshna shukadukkada agama paino nityas tamsa titikshasva bharata. One will go through lot of difficulties, struggles, and also some sukha. And the sukha and difficulties, the problems, both are actually matras swarshasta kaunteya. It is by the sensual perceptions. So it comes and goes. One should not get dragged by sukha, or one should not get perturbed by dukkha. Agama paino nityas. One should tolerate. So, because of this Dehatma Buddhi, Jiva is dragged into so many species. But in all species, the Lord is personally accompanying the soul. He is not giving up. That's what Prabhupada writes in the previous purport. The Supreme Lord, the Super Soul, always present with the individual soul. He's always there. He directs material nature to supply the particular type of the body to the individual soul according to the result of his work. Wherever we go, Paramatma is there with us. And he is actually directing the material nature to award a particular kind of body based on according to the result of his work. Conditioned soul's work. And the material nature supplies. Material nature supplies. In one of that Annad Bhavanti Bhutani Padjinnadana Sambhavaha. In that sloka, contextually Prabhupada says in the lecture that how the living entity, the soul, comes down on the earth through rain. And the rain the jiva enters to the grains, enters the grains, and the grain transformed into food, and the food get transformed into virya, semen, and the virya enters a woman's womb. See how Atma is traveling. That is the meaning of Annad Bhavanti Bhutani. The living bodies subsist on food grains. The food is getting transformed into virya. And virya enters woman's womb. To the process of and the first night, the sperm and ovum mix. So even Atma has to be placed in a, conducive environment. Nowadays, what is that? Test tube baby. Test tube baby. Not that they are creating any life in the test tube. Ultimately, sperm and ovum has to be placed there. Atma is not coming from the chemicals. Atma is there actually presented in the sperm. So, a right kind of environment, right kind of womb has to be chosen to fructify. So woman also has to be fortunate to have such kind of facilitating. That's called, one has to do a lot of punya, even to bear, what is it called? Conceive. Even to conceive, woman has to do a lot of punya. She has to be fortunate. And nowadays, and even men, where Atma to take shelter of the Sukra Kana, the Virya, even he has to be, to give shelter to soul. Today, people are so unfortunate, so papi, so sinful. Woman is not able to conceive. Men doesn't have, what that they say in the medical science, they say, what is it called? Counts. Virya Kana. Sperm counts, they say. They don't have sufficient counts because the fructification, what the Lord explains in the previous sloka. The living entity, the soul, is made to enter into the womb of a woman through the particle of the male semen to assume a particular type of body. And lakhs of particles of sperm is rushing towards woman, but not in that one or two which can go and fructification, that one or two sperm also not there. And more so, one is they are not able to beget children now. They are not able to, woman is not able to conceive, man is not potent enough to impregnate. And that is because of the previous sinful activities, they have become like that. Furthermore, they are continue. Already they are so sinful. That's why they have become disabled to become act as an instrument in the hands of the Lord. And further, they are committing more and more sinful activities. What is the sinful activity? Sinful activity means gratifying the senses, sense gratification, the sex life. What will happen to them further? Just imagine. No chance of getting human body. Human body is meant for deliverance, mokshikali. Very unfortunate. So one has to become free from sin. One has to become free from sin. Otherwise, as explained in this sloka, the body of the soul develops in 4 different ways according to its different sources. No guarantee. We again takes, jiva, after giving the body, again he comes to the human form of body. He can take birth as a plant or sprouts on the earth, or the flies, germs, bugs from perspiration, and or develops from eggs. In this particular sloka is mentioned, Dashayena tu karkanduhu peshi andam va tatah param. Peshi andam va. Peshi means like a plum, like a lump of flesh, or andam or egg. So he is explained about whether the soul may, enter into the animal body, like a birds. Sorry, not animal, birds. Develops as egg or embryo in the animals and human beings. So that is a kind of situation. Jiva keep moving. The Brahmanam sarva bhutani, Brahmayan sarva bhutani, yantra rudani maya, it said. Yantra rudani maya. Life is moving around in this world, sitting on the vehicle, driven by Maya. A Brahma bhunar loke punaravartino Arjuna. Lekin mamupatyate kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. The one who attains me, punarjanma na vidyate. You will not have one more body. You will not have one more body. No need to enter womb of the mother. That's what said. Rupa Goswami said that if one enters the temple of the Lord, then he no need to enter womb of the mother. So we have to enter the temple of the Lord with the right consciousness, not like Dhritarashtra. पूरा दर्शन करने के बाद भी मुझको दोबारा make me blind. Once you accept spiritual life, once you become disciples of Srila Prabhupada, it should be written on the wall. It is written on the wall. We will not take birth again. But we should not behave like Dhritarashtra's. Chalta attitude. We should not blind ourselves again. We'll stop here in question or comments.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, you were giving example of Lord Rama, Chandra and Lakshmanji and Bharat. Lakshmanji and Bharat, they were doing paradharma for the Lord. So how can we understand from Prabhupada's life some few examples would you like to give?
What is it?
From
How-
Prabhupada's life, few examples would you like to share? Ki his life was based on Paradharma.
See, everybody was teaching Bhagavad Gita some dharma. Because Bhagavad Gita means dharma only. There's no, isn't it? अधर्म से बचने के लिए भगवद गीता है ना धर्म. एवरीबडी टीचिंग धर्म, बट प्रभुपाद taught from very Bhagavad Gita, he taught paradharma. There are so many versions. Everybody is trying how to be good, how to be, non-violence and ahimsa. Then what is it? Nowadays corporate Gita, how to do business, all that for everybody. But Prabhupada is teaching paradharma. Paradharma is surrender unto Krishna. See, Krishna is teaching. It's not that Lord Rama is not taught. But in general, Lord Ramachandra, everybody is taking Adarsha Purushottama. Ideal. So everybody is taking from Lord Rama's behavior, Samanya Dharma they are taking. But ultimately, you should know, if you wanted to know how to become Lord Rama's devotee, you should know from Hanuman, you should know from Lakshmana, you should know from Bharata. From his devotees they should know. That's how Lord himself came as a devotee, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach. This is the way you should become devotee. Complete Sharanagati. This is the way you should take Sharanagati.
So, sperm is entering the worm. All this sperm has a soul, or only particular?
All
Thousands of just
in my understanding, they are moving. Movement is possible only by soul. Every kana, there is no kana where soul doesn't exist. In pattar mein bhi hai. Kana kana mein Krishna hai na. Every kana is there, but that not potent enough. That kana is not potent enough to to strike the ovum. That's how you see, we should understand the value. In a spiritually, we should understand, one should not lose the sperm. Very potent. Is Atma can take shelter. If you save the same sperm, we can raise it up and we can go back to Godhead. This Atma can go back to Godhead, who is there within the body. Or you produce children, become instrument in the hands of the Lord. Only two options. Never use for sense gratification. Stop it. Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki.